very good afternoon, everyone, for joining this session. Today, we have our lovely co host, that is Juliet Kay. She is a career development coordinator, and my name is Ritik Sharma. I'm the coordinator at Seneca Student Federation, Newnham campus. Today, we'll be providing you the insight about the power plan of employment success. So, make sure each and every one of you keep your mics muted, and after the conversation we have Q&A so that you guys can question to us like the questions you have, and we will be more than willing to answer all of them. And we have Juliet. She is an expert in it, and she'll guide you the best possible way. So in this session we are going to chat about the power plan of employment success. I'm sure many of the students here are either ready to apply for jobs or want to prepare to make sure they get a job as soon as possible, and we hope that Juliet, you will be able to give us tips on what we need to do to be ready for that moment. I hear you often say this, there in work that needs to be done and that we need to think beyond just resume. So can you please tell us more, Juliet?
Yes, thank you very much for that warm introduction, Ritik. And yes, you're right. If you want to get a job sooner rather than later, you need to be prepared. And the resume is not your starting point or your end point. And I will try to give you and anybody who's listening a step-by-step guide to prepare for employment and position yourself for success. So there are 6 steps that I would like to share with you. And if you complete them by, say, the second last semester, just before you finish your program, you can focus on applying jobs in the final semester. This way, you'll have a good chance of getting a job by the time you graduate.
Exactly. Thank you so much for providing the insight, Lol. So I don't want to waste the time. Let's just start off with our very first step. So Juliet, I would like you to please tell the students our very first step to get the jobs.
Okay, so let me just preface this by saying that there are 6 steps that I've come up with that I feel are very important in helping you figure out how to start and be prepared so that you, by the time you graduate, that you would have an offer for a job. But it's best if you can start as early as you can so that you are ready at least by the second last semester. So, okay, step number 1 is all about figuring out what you want to do. And I'll use the travel analogy to explain this one. When going on a trip, and hopefully after the pandemic, the first thing often for most of us is to figure out where you're going, right? So suppose you want to go to Florida. You wouldn't take the plane, you wouldn't just hop on any plane. You would probably want to hop on the right plane. Otherwise, you might find yourself going into Nunavut and you're in there basking in all the snow and wondering, but where is the sunshine? So back to the step number 1, what you want to do is very important. So you need to figure out what program you're in and what kind of jobs are suitable for the program. And if you're not sure, I would suggest that you go onto your program page on the Seneca College website, and under the overview, you'll see a career section where they often list the jobs that you can do after you graduate and the types of work environment these jobs are in. And from there, just keep that list growing so that you would know exactly what jobs are suitable for you and what skills you've acquired and where they would lead you to. And once you know which jobs, I would encourage you to go seek out the job profiles, look at the job postings, find out what duties would be expected of you. That will give you an idea on the skills. Find out what requirements the employers typically have, and that will give you a sense of most skills and requirements that the employers have. So step number 1 is all about figuring out what do you want to do.
Exactly. That actually makes a good sense. Like we have to look up into our programs and list of the jobs that and the work environment that we need to work out. So that actually makes sense. Thank you so much for providing that insight. Okay, so Juliet, can you please explain the students about the second step that we have?
Okay. So now once you know what you want to do, it will be easy for you to customize all your self-promotional materials so that you effectively communicate to the potential employers what value you bring. Remember, you are selling something. you are selling your skills, and you need to be able to communicate those skills to the employer. If you don't know those skills, again, this is the time for you to prepare and figure out what skills are you acquiring from your program. And again, the best way to get started is again on that program page. Go on into your courses and look at each of the learning outcomes. You will discover that you are getting a lot of skills, and list all those skills so that you can be aware of how skilled you are. And maybe at that point you'll be feeling, oh my God, I am really skilled. I have all these skills. You feel good, you feel confident, and you feel confident about applying for those jobs. And this is what you need to communicate to the employers. So similar to a company, companies always, when they're trying to get customers to buy from them, they always try to communicate the benefits of the product or of the service to the buyers. So similarly, you too, you want to communicate the benefits you're bringing to the employer. And this will require you to develop a few marketing tools. And these marketing tools include your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile, your sample of the work that you have done, your portfolio, things like that, references, recommendations, all that nice stuff. So once you know what they are looking for, you'll be able to create all these marketing pieces, self-promotional materials, in such a way that they communicate the skills and the benefits that you're going to be providing to the employers for those specific jobs that you're looking for.
Such a great insight. Interesting. So we need to think about this like a business. Like I have opted for international business, so I can actually relate to this. A business has many marketing collateral. They have business cards, flyers, brochures, posters, etc. So the resume, the cover letter,
Yeah.
the profile portfolio, and the references are like our calling cards. Sales letters, same products and referrals. Wow, actually, that this provides a lot of insight. Okay, so coming up to our third step, Juliet, can you explain like what should be our third step to after this?
Okay. So the first step, you figured out what you wanted to do. Second step, you're developing your self-promotional materials. Third step, now you want to develop an effective job search strategy. And again, it is like a business developing its own marketing strategy and its own marketing campaign. No business puts all its eggs in one basket. So why should you? In order to create many opportunities for you to for a business to sell, a business will advertise in many different ways. So you too should promote yourself in many different ways, on many different channels, and be able to put your information out there to create awareness, but also to increase interest. Okay, let's go through the typical general job search strategies. Most people know about online job search, and yeah, I don't have to ask anybody. Everybody knows Indeed. Everybody knows Workopolis, Monster, those kinds of websites. Those online job boards, yes, are very good, but that is not where you want to stop. Even online, you can still look for. We will be taking questions at the end, so don't you worry. Either put your question in the chat, or we'll give you an opportunity to ask your question. Okay.
Yeah, Kiana, you can put up your questions in the chat box till now. Like after that, like when the session ends up, you are more than willing to ask the questions.
Okay, so going back to the different strategies. So online strategy is one. Online job boards is one of the online strategies. Going to company websites is another online job strategies. Looking at employment agencies, oftentimes they have online job boards as well. Look at all these ones. Associations is another place to go. Look at the association that the association in your field, and check out their career boards. All those are online strategies. And now, because of the pandemic, almost everything is online, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't look for the other strategies. Okay, another strategy is career fairs. Many schools organize career fairs, and I would encourage you to check out our career fair. In fact, we have one starting on Monday, and it's going to be 1 week long. So from Monday until Friday, we're going to have employers coming online to talk to students about what kind of jobs they have. So attend as many as you can, depending on your schedule. So career fairs is another. Yes, there will be virtual now, but before the pandemic and probably after the pandemic, the real face-to-face will probably come back again. So find out those career fairs and be able to attend. Employment centers often also have career fairs. Some industries are organized in such a way that they do their own career fairs as well. The hospitality, for instance, the hospitality industry often has their career fairs. And some employers like hotels, golf courses, sometimes conduct their own career fairs, employer by employer, organization by organization. So always look out for career fairs, especially the career fairs that are suitable for your program, and be able to put that on your list of things to do. Okay, the third way of job searching is networking. Networking takes a little bit longer than the other strategies. Networking, you can't expect anybody to give you a job right off the bat. However, you want to put in as much time as you can in networking because it's one of those strategies that if somebody knows you and knows your skills quite well, they would be able to refer you, and you might just be the only one who's interviewed. So you want to make sure that you grow your network, expand your network, and leverage your network in such a way that everybody is like eyes and ears for you in terms of directing you to opportunities. The fourth and last way of job searching is direct solicitation. Many students are afraid of direct solicitation, but I say if you have the guts, if you can muster up the guts, if you can call us and we strategize with you, it is not difficult. In fact, it would actually give you a very good opportunity because oftentimes if you seek out the employer and you are lucky that they are thinking of hiring around about that time, they might just go, oh, you know, Juliet, you have the right credentials. You seem to be well spoken. You seem to be a confident person. You know what? How about you come in and let's have a chat? And for me, that's what happened to me. I directly solicited Seneca College. There was no job posting that I was aware of, and that's how I got hired in Seneca College. So that works. I sent in my inquiry on, say, a Wednesday, on a Friday. No, yeah, I sent in my inquiry like on a Monday. By Wednesday, they had responded to me to say, hey, come in, let's chat. Friday, I was there chatting, and the chat was actually an interview. I didn't know at that particular point. On Monday, I was working in Seneca. It was that fast because I had nobody else that I was competing with. So those are the four different major strategies, and you can customize them according to your industry, according to how you want to do your job search.
Like, I have heard your story and it's really, really good. Like, it's overwhelming. But that sounds like a lot of things to do, Juliet. Like, how can we manage that process so that it doesn't become overwhelming for us? Like, it contains a lot of steps and a lot of things to go on. So how can we do that so that it doesn't become overwhelming for us?
That's a very good question that you've asked, which directly takes us to step number 4, which is get organized. Okay.
Okay.
Develop your job search plan. What are you going to do? When are you going to do it? Commit what you're going to do into your agenda. So most of us have agendas. Put in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What are you going to do? When are you going to the career fairs? Is that Mondays? Tuesdays, maybe that's when you're going to dedicate time to do online job searching. Wednesdays, maybe that's when you're going to just expand your network. Thursdays, whatever works for you. But think about it in chunks, on specific days, in weekly installments, and be able to figure out what you're doing when. Then create a job search log. And this is where you record all your job search activity. Okay, so Monday, you decided I'm going to be applying for jobs online. Okay, so 9 o'clock, what call did you make? Who did you call? What were you applying for? That kind of thing. What was the response? So list all the activities that you are doing in terms of your job search, so that in case at a future point when that phone rings and someone says, hey, this is James Jones, and I'm calling, we really liked your resume, your application, would like you to come in for an interview. And you go, James Jones, where you calling from? For what job are you? You don't look good. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have your job search log handy, and if James Jones is called, you're quickly looking at the job search log to figure out, oh my God, that was IBM. Yes, thank you very much for calling me. You're on top of things. Okay, so being organized is really important. Then the next thing you want to do is to give yourself targets. How many jobs do you want to apply to each month, each week, right? If you're hungry for a job, you probably might want to have a higher number rather than a lower number. If you're not hungry for a job because maybe your parents are taking care of you, you're in no rush, you have a huge bank account, okay, whatever, it will come whenever you want, right? So you want to make sure that you give yourself reasonable targets in terms of how many jobs you're applying to per day, or how many networks, new contacts you're gaining per day or per week. Then you want to make sure that you create contact lists. And this is one of the things I encourage most students to do in terms of going to job fairs. Even if you're not looking for a job now, go to the job fairs, identify the companies that you're interested in, and if nothing else you get the contact of the recruiter, you're well on your way, because it's very difficult finding the contact information. So just make it a habit that you're always collecting contact information for all these people that you want to leverage when you're ready. And then the other way of making sure that you are really organized is use apps. There's apps for everything. Facebook has job search apps. Twitter has job search apps. LinkedIn has job search apps. So look for job search apps and see which one suits you, even networking apps. And just get yourself organized and let the technology work for you. We're in a good time that technology now is easy and it's not that expensive.
Exactly. This is such a good stuff to learn, to be very honest. Like getting organized helps you out to like actually plan out your things and do the things in the right way. And getting the contact list, it's actually a good point. I had not thought of this without getting the information from you. So, Juliet, can you explain what should be our next step after doing all these?
Okay, so that was step number 4. Now, step number 5. So, step number 5 is one you should not leave to the last minute. And this is preparing yourself for interviews. Do mock interviews, practice, 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 because for most of us, we are nervous. You don't want the nerves to get better of you when you know everything that the employer is asking for and you can make yourself shine, but just because you didn't practice, the nerves just leave you tongue tied. So you want to make sure that you prepare before you get heavily into job searching. So I get many calls from students who want help with interviews. And when I ask them, when is your interview? They go, tomorrow. At this point, you're putting me in a difficult spot as a coach, because I have to choose between being helpful and flustering you. So don't wait until the last minute, because there's a lot that you can learn in the practicing. So most people need to practice a few times to feel confident, to get over their nerves, to feel like they're answering the questions properly, even to craft their story. Because again, for most of us, we just live life. We're not thinking of, how did I get here? How did I become passionate about this field that I am in right now? And how can I be able to present this story in such a way that I wow the recruiters, right? But if you wait until the last minute, all those will just fly out the window. So once you're confident and you're ready to apply jobs, so then you go into step number 6. And step number 6 is basically apply, apply, apply.
Exactly. So that actually sums up like we have to apply, apply, and apply to get the job, and we have to be prepared for all the steps. That's actually excellent. So there is a method to the madness, right? So let
Mhm.
me like see if I can remember all the steps. The step one was for like what do you want to do. The step two was prepare self promotion collaterally. Step three was like develop job search strategies, right? And step four was like get organized.
Mhm.
Step five was prepare for interviews, and step six was apply, apply, and apply. These are actually the steps to get into the job, and these are actually golden steps to get what you want.
Exactly.